Hello again, 5th grade. Mr. Howell back. And today we're going to be talking about finding common denominators. Today I'm going to show you two different ways to find a common denominator. Okay, so the first thing that we need is two fractions. So if I have fractions, let's say I have 1/4 and the fraction, I don't know. And let's say I have the fraction 5/6. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to find a common denominator of 4 and 6. Now, I could do a quick denominator, okay, and a quick denominator, I can take my two denominators and I can multiply them together, okay, so I can multiply 4 times 6, and if I do that, 4 times 6 is going to be 24. So 24 would be a common denominator, okay. So we could do common denominator would be 24, and I got that by multiplying my two denominators together, 4 times 6 to get 24. The other strategy that we can use, and this is kind of the more common strategy, is to find the least or the lowest common denominator, okay? So, and we often refer to that as the LCD, okay? So, to find the lowest or the least common denominator, we need to look at multiples. And remember, those multiples are our fact family numbers. So, I need to look at fact family numbers of 4 and fact family numbers of 6. So, let's look at 4 first. So, 4 times 1 is 4, and usually we can go out to the first 4, 5, 10. In this case, I'm going to go up to my 10 facts. I'm not going to worry about 11 and 12. So 4 times 2 is going to be 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and finally 40. Okay, 1 through 10. Okay, now for my fact family numbers for 6. 6 times 1 is 6, times 2 is 12, times 3 is 18, times 4 is 24, and we're just going to keep going here. And finally 60. Now, if we look at our list here, we can look for some common numbers or some shared numbers. So I see that 12 is shared. I see 24 is shared. I see that 36 is shared. And that's going to be it. So we could really use any of those numbers as a common denominator. But in this case, I'm looking for my least or my lowest common denominator. And the smallest shared number that we have here is going to be the number 12. Okay, so I want to use 12 as my least common denominator. Okay, so my LCD is going to be 12. That's the lowest common denominator, the smallest shared number of multiples between 4 and 6. So, to change my fractions now, I want to do a couple different things. So, to change 1/4 to a denominator of 12, I got to ask myself, well, what times 4 gets me 12? Well, I could think about my fact family numbers, or if I list out my multiples, I can say, okay, well, this gives me a quick reference guide. So it goes 1, 2, 3. So I know that 4 times 3 gets me 12. And with fractions, anything that I do to the bottom, I also have to do to the top. Okay, so 4 times 3 is 12. I also have to take the top, and I need to do 1 times 3 to get 3. So 1/4 and 3/12 have the same value. Okay, so my changed fraction, or my fraction with a common denominator for 1/4 is going to be 3/12. I can do the same thing with 5/6. So 5/6, I need to ask myself, well, what times 6 is going to give me a denominator of 12? Well, 6 times 2 gets me 12. Okay, and I can come up here to my multiple list and say 1, 2. Whatever I do down here to my denominator, I also have to do to my numerator. So I did 6 times 2, so I also need to do 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. So 5, 6, and 10 twelfths also have the same value. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of a refresher on finding common denominators. Hope everybody's doing well, and we will see you soon.